So happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for being here for our bi-weekly Eastside Wrap meeting where we discuss the impact of homelessness on the east side of Santa Barbara. My name's Landon with SB Act, and I'm co-facilitating this as a partnership with the city of Santa Barbara as a part of our broader South County collaborative efforts. Um, so I'm just going to start by putting up the slide of the next couple dates. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, just our regular every 2 weeks meeting at 10 a.m. However, we are trying to schedule an in-person meeting for this month. So let me pull up that link and I'll put it in the chat window as well. A couple of you have already RSVP'd, or not RSVP'd, have responded to this survey indicating dates that you're available. So I just want to get as many of us to respond as possible so I can find a date that will work for many of us. We typically do, when we've done these in the past, we do it on a weekday evening so that it's accessible for people after work. And it can be hard to get everybody to make that since we know a lot of our service providers and city staff are not usually working those hours. So if you can help me by filling out the survey, that will go a long way. I also just wanted to mention again, as a part of this kind of broader South County initiative, we're working on several different larger picture goals for the whole of South County, Carpinteria through Goleta, to address homelessness. And one of those goals you see with number two is we're trying to really get people who have really high acuity, either mental health or substance use needs off the streets and into either interim or permanent housing. And so we're trying to identify kind of our top 100 individuals in South County. And so for service providers, there's a survey for you to fill out to like actually list individuals so that we can put them on the list. But for community members, it'll be important for you to report individuals who appear to be experiencing mental health or substance use needs using the SB Connect app is one of the best ways for us. But of course, if it's actually like more of an urgent situation, to call either the non-emergency behavioral health phone number at the bottom here or 911 if it's an immediate crisis situation. But the more information you're able to share, especially through SB Connect, the better, because that just again helps us to know who those individuals are and where they are, so that we can start directing resources their way. A couple of you last week requested some of these cards. I did mail those out, so hopefully you'll be getting them shortly if you haven't already. But we do have these in wallet size if anybody still wants them. All right. So that's it for my announcements today. So we'll go ahead and go to open it up for community members just to share if you have any comments or concerns related to homelessness on the east side. So let's open it up.
Well, I do have one question, and I don't go to the east side as much as I used to, but the underpass over there just past the runabout, are there still homeless people sleeping on the underpass? Cause see, around the post office still, I'm just wondering if there's or has it decreased? That's my question.
On a whole, we've been hearing about decreases, but I would ask Liz or Andrew or Oscar if any of you all can offer like a more recent update about how things are looking in that general neighborhood.
And we
Yeah. Oh,
go ahead, Andrew.
okay. All right. Yeah, I'll give a quick one. Yeah, the underpasses are definitely still kind of a problem area for us. A lot of that revolves around the RVs, which, as we all kind of know from this meeting, is an ongoing issue and something we're working to address with New Beginnings. But in terms of the sidewalk, we do see some, campers um, under the underpasses around like weather events and things like that. Lately, we found them relatively clear. There are some, challenging individuals that we deal with on like a case by case basis, but I wouldn't say that they're, established formal encampments. It's more just kind of like I said, just kind of a case by case situation for us. So, but we're still continuing regular patrols of them, and we are cleaning them regularly with power washing and litter pickup. So, doing our best to address the situation while hopefully the New Beginnings program, works its magic on some of the RVs around there.
Okay, and just one more question. Is it still the possibility of opening up the parking lot there at the DMV on Bath and Castillo, for safe parking? Is that still in the works or kind of like in limbo right now?
So I can't speak to that directly. I do know in general the safe parking lots are confidential locations. So if it is approved, we won't be able to share in these calls. But I know they have a number of lots they're trying to work on across the whole of South County area. And in general, it is great when they're close to downtown, since that tends to be spaces that people are then more eager to accept those safe parking spots. So yeah. But we can't share the actual locations where they are, unfortunately.
Okay, that's it for my questions for today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jose. I'm putting in the chat window as well. This is what Cassie from the Safe Parking Program shared last time, that if there is a vehicle that you think should be referred to their outreach team for safe parking, there's contact information there in the chat. But of course, if it's issues like illegal dumping or things that are more like emergency concerns, you either want to use the SB Connect app or it's a call to the law enforcement. Any other questions or concerns?
Hi, this is Susie. Good morning, everyone. Happy Good Friday. Just wanted to put a shout out. We had Commander Payne out yesterday attending one of our management meetings because we did have a situation earlier in the week regarding a gentleman that approached our employee that was waiting for work to start at the 5 a.m. around 5:25 or so in the morning, trying to bum off a cigarette and then spit on our employee. We did file a police report and so forth, but the Quarantina Street is definitely a challenge for our employees from a parking perspective, as well as just, the activities that are going on in these oversized vehicles. So, um, just want to continue to pay focus to that area because we do our employees are seeing the illegal dumping as well as the illegal activity, and plus they're taking up a lot of the parking spots that our poor employees are trying to find parking at 5 in the morning. So, uh, but wanted to again give recognition to Commander Payne.
Thank you, Susie. Yeah, I can share this with Cassie as well, since she's not on the call with us today. But I appreciate you bringing that up. All right, anything else from the community? All right, so let's turn to our teams just to hear updates from the Eastside neighborhood from the last 2 weeks. So can we start with the CityNet team?
Good morning. Um, so in terms of the East Side, East Beach has been pretty much the same people that we usually encounter. Um, so Cacique, that area seems to be at least a little bit clearer in our experience when we're there. Um, we've been extensively going to Montecito, trying to connect the people there to resources and trying to engage with folks. We've covered some of Los Patos, and we are planning to continue to go out there, just because these folks kind of seem to be apprehensive to receiving services. So trying to establish more connections with them and trying to get them connected to resources. So our weekend team will be following up in the Los Patos and Bird Refuge areas this weekend. And yeah, that's about it for us.
Thank you, Alondra. We do know there have been recent clearings on railroad properties, I think mostly in Goleta, but there are likely to be more by the railroad by UPRR in the coming weeks. And so we know that's going to cause some movement of individuals that are used to camping there. So let's just keep an eye out for movement as we see it. It'll really be important to report if you see individuals in places that they are not usually, because that'll help our outreach teams to know where people may have moved. Let's go to the path team.
Happy Friday, all of you. Um, Same thing, going out, doing outreach, engaging with individuals in our surrounding areas. The other thing that we started doing was going out, being a little bit more of a presence through our areas, as well as picking up trash. So I was able to do that this week. Went out a few times, picked out trash, engaging with individuals. Um, During the areas, the times that I've been going out, it does seem like there's less people out, from my observation. But just making that engagement, and just being there for the clients, participants.
This is
Thank you.
Susie. I think a lot have moved to Quarantina and maybe near the rescue mission. Just seems like it kind of picked up and moved over.
Yeah, I haven't heard any updates about that recently, but we know there had been more activity in that area. Um, Typically,
Yeah,
we
I can.
have. Go ahead.
Sorry, Landon. I can speak to that a little bit. I mean, we definitely have seen, along Yananali, that's always a challenging zone there. We do have direct contacts at the rescue mission, which we're working with now on some of those issues. We have a lot of people that are associated with individuals at the rescue mission, but they're not actual clients of the rescue mission, and they're refusing services, but they want to hang around in that area. It does make them a challenge because they are very resistant. So that continues to be an issue from the code enforcement side in terms of waste and encampment and then accumulation and whatnot. But yeah, we are aware of those zones and that spillover. That's definitely part of the ecosystem that impacts those underpasses and creates some of that situation there. So kind of another facet of the whole thing.
And then, Andrew, do you mind? Oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
Liz.
One thing that I just remembered that I wanted to share related to trash is that sometime in the hopefully not too distant future, we'll be getting another trash can on the east side in our neighborhood over here through our last neighborhood walk that we did. I always forget what the business park is that's right over there on Powers. But anyway, one of the business owners shared that there's often trash in the parking lot over there when he comes in the morning, which we then shared with the city, and they are working to put in a trash can over there by that business park to support and hopefully less trash being in the parking lot in the mornings. And so I just heard back from them this week that they're going to reach out to that business owner and work to put a trash can in over there.
That's good. Love to hear that. And then can we turn to Andrew for your updates?
Yeah, thanks, Landon. Yeah, beyond the underpass update and that sort of vicinity, a lot of what code enforcement has been dealing with has been, like Alondra said, down along the tracks, more towards the bird refuge. We've seen a lot of movement in that corridor. That really becomes kind of a bit of a highway across town, but we find a lot of encampments and whatnot settling over by the bird refuge, and then further down towards Coast Village on the opposite side. Dwight Murphy Field continues to be a challenge. We have a lot of individuals that are drawn there because of the public restroom. That area will eventually be having a full closure because that park will be getting renovated and redone, but that's not going to be until sometime this summer from what our last update. So yeah, we continue to address that with the park rangers. As things start to warm up a little bit here, we have started to see more activity down towards the beach, East Beach in particular. It's usually pretty clear through winter, but we are starting to see tents pop up again under the Clark Estate down there. So kind of addressing all that movement and just sort of some seasonal changes as people start to be out in the open a little bit more, I guess you could say.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, we'll be interested to hear progress on the Dwight Murphy. All right, Commander Payne.
Good morning, everyone. Updates for the PD. I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but Sergeant Beltran was recently promoted to lieutenant. He will still be the kind of the lead supervisor over the co-response and community action teams. He'll also be supervising traffic and parking enforcement. So he'll still have a real good idea what's going on and how to help address issues that come up with the resources that we have available to us. The other thing is we will be getting a new sergeant who is a former community action team member, Bruno Peterson. He will be starting in the beginning of May. So we'll work with him. And then probably by mid-May, we're having a couple officers transition out of the community action team. So we'll be starting the promotional process for those positions. So we'll have a couple new team members joining us shortly. So there might be a little bit of a transition period. So, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, they're with getting folks trained up and learning a new position, that there's always a little bit of a time lag with that. And I think that's all that I have for the group, unless anybody has any specific questions for me.
I don't think so. Thank you. Appreciate the update, and yeah, hopefully it doesn't create too much of a bottleneck for your team. Julie, since you're on the call, I don't know if you have any updates you want to share from the city level or from the city manager's office.
Morning, everybody. I do not have any updates. Andrew has the updates from our shop, and I don't know if Chris Clark has anything to add to that, but I'm just I will rely on Andrew's updates. I'm filling in for Barbara. I'm a poor substitute, and I apologize for that. Somebody thought that this was a good idea, but anyway, if there's anything I can do to assist, please do let me know.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Julie. Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you have any updates beyond what Andrew had already shared. He may not be able to come to the camera right now. All right. So are there any other general announcements or questions or concerns while we're all together? Okay, it sounds like we have a little bit of follow-up we'll be doing near the rescue mission. I'll be talking with the Safe Parking Program about some of the concerns Susie raised. And if there's anything else, please do be in contact with us before our next meeting. But for now, we'll go ahead and end the meeting for community members. Service providers, if you can stick around, we'll do a little check-in about individuals by name. So thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.